Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. So today we are going to learn a new chapter, and this is the last chapter for PQT 112, which is Fourier series. Okay. So in this chapter we will take a look on how to determine the given function f(x) is either odd function, even function, or neither function. Okay, so this one is for single function f(x). Okay, the next one is we will learn on how to sketch the graph, and based on the graph you need to identify whether it is odd function, even function, or neither function. Okay, and the last one is solving Fourier series. Okay, and how to solve Fourier series. So in this video I will explain to you the first part, okay, which is on how to determine the function is odd, even, or neither function by using definition. Okay, so by using definition, if your f of negative x is equals to f(x), so this one will be even function. Okay, if your f of negative x is equals to negative of f(x), this is odd function. And the last one is if your f of negative x is not equals to f(x) or not equals to negative of f(x), so this one we call it neither function. Okay, so try to look at this example. Okay, so if let's say you are given your f(x), is equals to x squared. So as you can see here, for you to identify whether the given function is odd, even, or neither function, you need to replace x with negative x. Okay, so you need to find what is your f negative x of your function. So for this one, f of negative x is equals to, so now you have x here, so replace by negative x, the whole thing squared. So this one is equals to x squared, and this x squared is equals to f(x). So therefore this is an even function. So that is how you identify whether the function is odd, even, or neither function. Okay, so let's say you have your f(x) is equals to x cubed. Okay, so f of negative x is equals to, now you have x, so replace by negative x, so the whole thing cube. So this one will give you negative x cubed. When negative x cubed is equals to negative, so x cubed is equals to f(x). You get it? So f of negative x is equals to negative of f(x), so therefore this is an odd function. Okay, so the next one is, let's consider your f(x) is equals to cos x. Okay, so f of negative x is equals to cos negative x. And this one, cos of negative x, is equals to cos x. So how I know that this one is equals to this one? So let's say you consider your x is equals to pi. Okay, so let's say your x is equals to pi. So now try to find the value of cos negative pi and also cos pi. Okay, so if you set your calculator in radian, so cos negative pi is equals to -1, and cos pi is equals to also -1. So that's why we can write cos of negative x is equals to cos x. Why we need to write equals to cos x? Because you want to make a conclusion either it is even, odd, or neither function. If you stop here, this one, if you stop until here, you cannot make any conclusion. Okay, so that's why change cos of negative x is equals to cos x, where this one is equals to fx. So therefore this is an even function. Okay, so the next one, D, like say your fx is equals to sine x. Okay, so f of negative x is equals to sine negative x. Okay, so for this one, can you just simply change sine of negative x is equals to sine x? That is wrong. Okay, why? So just take the same example. Let's say you are considering your x is equals to pi over 2. Let's say. Okay, so now find the value of sine negative pi over 2 and also sine pi over 2. Okay, so sine negative pi over 2 is equals to -1. Okay, but sine pi over 2 is equals to 1. So this one is not equals to this one. That's why you cannot simply write this one is equals to sine x. But this one can be equals to this one if you have negative here. So therefore it will become -1. Okay, so if you simplify this one, you will have negative sine x, which is equals to negative of your fx. So therefore this is an odd function. Okay, so there are two important info here, which is the first one is if you have cos of negative x, this one is equals to cos x. Okay, if you have sine of negative x, this one is equals to negative sine x. Okay, so please remember this one because you are going to use this afterward. Okay, so now let's just try the next example. So let's say you have your fx is equals to x squared minus 2x plus 1. So first get your f of negative x. This is the first step that you need to do every time you have a function. Substitute x with negative x. Okay, This is the least that you can do if you don't understand, if you don't know how to do. Okay, so now we have x here, so you have negative x the whole thing squared minus 2. Here you have x, so replace by negative x plus 1. So this one you don't need to multiply by negative x. We just replace x with negative x. Okay, so if you can see here, whenever I have x, then I replace by negative x. So simplify this one will give you x squared plus 2x plus 1. So now you need to conclude either this is odd, even, or neither function. So this is for sure this is not an even function because this one is not equals to fx. Okay, so now you need to find what is your negative of your fx, because if this function is equals to this one, therefore the function is an odd function. So you need to check first. So now you have negative. So what is your fx? Fx is equals to x squared minus 2x plus 1. So if you expand this one is equals to negative x squared minus minus you will have plus 2x minus 1. So as you compare your f of negative x with negative of fx, not equal. Okay, so therefore you can conclude that your f of negative x is not equals to fx and not equals to negative of fx. So therefore this is a neither function. Okay, so the next one, like say you have your fx is equals to x squared sine 2x. Okay, so f of negative x is equals to, so now you have x squared here, so you will have negative x the whole thing squared sine, here you have x, so negative 2x. So remember, in my previous example I told you if you have sine of negative x, then you need to replace it by negative of sine x. So here you have sine of negative 2x, so this one is equals to negative sine 2x. Okay, but be careful. Okay, be careful when you want to write the negative sign. It should be this way: negative x squared sine 2x, or you can just write it as x squared, the first one, multiplied by negative sine 2x. So therefore you will have negative x squared sine 2x. Okay, you cannot write in this form, this is wrong. Let's say you write this one, negative x squared minus sine 2x. This is wrong. Okay, because this one and this one have a different meaning. Okay, this one is multiplied, this one is minus. Okay, so you shouldn't write in this form, this is wrong. You should write in this form. Okay, so as you can see here, this is your fx. Okay, so therefore this one is equals to negative, so x squared sine 2x is your fx. So therefore this is an odd function. Okay, so let's say you have this one, fx is equals to 2 sine x cos 4x. So get your f of negative x. So this one is equals to, so 2 sine of negative x cos negative 4x. So remember this one. You need to remember cos of negative x is equals to cos x. Sine of negative x is equals to negative sine x. Okay, because you need to apply this one here. So therefore, your f of negative x is equals to, so 2, so the first one, sine of negative x. So this one will be negative sine x. So this is the first function. Second one is cos of negative 4x. So this one is equals to cos 4x. Okay, so therefore this one is equals to negative 2 sine x cos 4x. Okay, and as you can see here, this one is equals to negative. So 2 sine x cos 4x is equals to fx. So again, therefore, this is an odd function. Okay, so let's say you have this one. Fx is equals to sine squared x cos 3x. So before you can substitute x with negative x, please do something here first, because here you have squared. So what is the meaning of this one? What is the meaning of sine squared x? This one is equals to sine x multiplied by sine x, and the last one is cos 3x. Okay, so just split this one first into two functions. If not, you might make mistake. Okay, then only you substitute negative x. So this one is equals to sine of negative x multiplied by sine of negative x multiplied by cos of negative 3x. So if you simplify this one by using these properties, so therefore you will have negative sine x, negative sine x, and the last one is cos 3x. So negative, negative, then you will have positive. Sine multiplied by sine, you will have sine squared x cos 3x. So therefore, this one is equals to fx. So this is an even function. Okay, without this bracket, it will change the meaning of it. Okay, without this bracket, you will simplify it as negative 2 sine x, which is wrong. Okay, so please make sure use the bracket correctly. Okay, so the last one is, if let's say your fx is equals to e negative x minus 1 squared. Okay, before you can simply substitute x with negative x, please do something here first, because you have squared here, so you need to expand first. Okay, so expand this one will give you e negative x minus 1 multiplied by e negative x minus 1. So exponent, exponent, multiply, so power we need to add. So you will have e negative 2x minus e negative x minus e negative x. So therefore you will have minus 2e negative x plus 1. Okay, then only you can substitute your f of negative x, which is equals to e negative 2 negative x minus 2e negative, so x with negative x plus 1. So if you simplify this one, you will have e to x. So f of negative x is equals to e to x minus 2ex plus 1. So clearly this one is not equals to fx. Okay, because the power here you have negative, but f of negative x, the power is positive. Okay, so this one is not equals to fx. So now you need to check for negative of your fx, which is equals to negative. So what is your fx again? E negative 2x minus 2e negative x plus 1. Okay, so if you expand this one, you will have negative e negative 2x minus minus plus 2e negative x minus 1. So if you compare this one with f of negative x, it's also not the same, right? So therefore, f of negative x is not equals to fx, is not equals to negative of fx. So therefore, this is a neither function. Okay, so I hope by now you are able to distinguish either the function is odd, even, or neither function. Okay, so by using this definition and use these properties to simplify. Okay, so please try to do the exercise in your notes. Okay, and in my next video I will proceed with the second one, the second subtopic, okay, which is on how to sketch the graph, and based on the graph we want to identify either the function is odd, even, or neither function. Okay, so I shall see you guys in my next video. Thank you. Assalamualaikum.